Hey everyone, welcome to the Confidence Queen podcast. I'm your host, Nikki, and I have an amazing special guest, Takara, with us.
Hello.
Takara is a personal stylist, and she will make you feel absolutely gorgeous, whatever size you are, and the clothes that will actually fit you. So why don't you tell me more about what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like she said, I'm Takara. It's a funky name, so I minimalized it to TK. So, I am Synthesized by TK. So, my business is a personal stylist, styling business. So, basically, my mission statement is to create the best version in your current you. So, what that basically means is whatever size you are right now, you need to feel good in your body, who you are right now, not 10 pounds from now, not when you have stretched out 6 months at the gym.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter. And the thing is, and what basically motivated me to start this was like I was postpartum after baby number 2. And I was staring at my closet and I'm like, I don't like anything I have in here. And that was the start of my day. That doesn't start anyone's day well at all.
No, because you're
then
you're
you're
just down
like
on yourself.
bummed. You're like, well, I woke up on the right side of the bed, but now
Now you don't even
I don't like myself, and I didn't start that way. And so I thought about that. I'm like, I know I'm not the only one that feels that way. And I knew, postpartum, obviously, like you change shapes multiple times throughout that time. And I needed clothes that fit me now, but I wanted to feel good in them and I wanted to feel stylish and I wanted to feel confident. And being a singer as well and in front of an audience all the time, I'm very aware of how I look and how I feel in my own skin. So I was like, I need to help myself first. And then when I would find those outfits that made me feel so great about myself, people would come up to me and be like, Takara, I've now seen you 6 months pregnant, 9 months pregnant, now 9 weeks postpartum. Why do you still look so great? Like, I love what you're wearing, but I could never wear it.
Yeah.
And I just would take that in. And I'm like, yes, you could. Yes, you could. Why don't you think you could pull this off? That's like the term everybody says. And so there's so much more psychology to what we put on our bodies than we give credit for, I think. And so what we put on ourselves every day is a reflection of how we feel about ourselves and how we feel throughout the rest of the day, for goodness sake. So I was like, there's something here. There's something to be said about these feelings, about these experiences that specifically women are feeling. And I was like, I want to help. I want to help women feel better about themselves. So Synthesized became a thing after using my green room, my backstage area at my shows to be like, what do I name this though?
Yeah.
And Synthesized is it's a weird name, but synthesizer is a keyboard in the music biz. And it was really big in the 80s and 90s. My dad had one, played on one. And it basically helps make, I shouldn't say fake music because no music I guess is fake, but synthesize anything like oil is fake oil or whatever, right?
That word in general,
right? And but I liked how I wanted it to be the opposite of what it represented because I work like that. I made up my own daughter's names. I'm weird with names. I just I have to be abnormal.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
look at your name.
hello, Takara is weird, right? It's Japanese. It was not made up. It actually was a word prior to being my name. But so I wanted to have it represent authenticity. And so Synthesized came about that way. But I also like how it's like, if you break it down, it's like the sized, like being the size that you are is not a sin. It is not a bad thing. It is who you are. Embrace it, celebrate it.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it. So
Yeah. I absolutely.
that was a very long-winded.
No, but that's great. That's what I'm here
definition.
for. I'm all about this.
I get on my soapbox and I get excited.
I'm all about this. We going back, me and TK, because I actually called her TK too in high school.
Yeah.
We have known each other since high school. I think you're a grade higher than me or something because you left,
06.
right? Yeah, I was 07.
Okay.
And first of all, if anybody knows Takara and's ever met her, especially in high school, like you were always very like fashionable. I feel like in general, you like shopping. I think you were like just a girly girl, and like, but she would like walk the halls and be like, ah, la, la, just like, like here comes Takara.
Oh my god!
But like
funny.
the ray of like sunshine
Aw,
and just like energy, and so like you were very much like your aura and your energy was very encouraging and addictive in a sense, so people gravitated towards you. So I think that's awesome.
Thank
you
you.
also, but what I love too is that you starting this, and I'm all about women. I'm all about like inspiring women. That's for the viewers that don't know, I'm a photographer. Oh, I do weddings, but I also do boudoir. I have a studio, and my studio is like we do a ton of boudoir, and the whole thing is like I don't want my girls to wait until they lose 20 pounds to book that photo shoot.
Right.
Like, no, you are. Let me show you. Come in.
Right.
First, come into studio. Let me. And if you hate it, then we'll wait another 20 pounds, I guess. But you're not gonna. You're not gonna hate it.
And the thing is, like, if we want to get real, you don't know if you have tomorrow or in 2 weeks or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's just like
life is too short to like just constantly. And I think every single woman there. I mean, even Kim Kardashian. Every woman looks in the mirror, and there are days when we just,
right,
yeah,
and we're allowed to have those days,
yeah, and we've had moments where we try on things and it's just not feeling it. I'm still learning. I'm still learning to accept my body and my flaws and everything like that.
Yeah.
So when you launched and you invited me to your launch and you were talking about, I'm like, this is amazing. I love this. I love anything that involves inspiring and motivating women to just love themselves exactly how they are.
Yep. It's hard.
Yeah.
I think
especially with society.
Yeah.
That we have to look certain ways.
1000%. Everything is so, you can compare yourself to the next person in the matter of milliseconds, so it's tough. And I think it's important to have people like us cheering women on, and being like, it's okay to feel all those feelings, but let's get you out of that headspace because you don't deserve to stay there.
Yeah. I had to really take a piece of my own advice and medicine. Which actually soon Kenny's going to be doing another boudoir session of me. He doesn't know this, but I've already planned it.
Surprise.
He doesn't care. He wakes up, he's like, what are we doing today? Have taken pictures of my fiance, my girlfriend? Absolutely. I have no problem with that. Okay. So, but COVID made me gain a bunch of weight.
You and 99% of the world.
Yeah. And it also just like, woof, I went through it. And I met him right at like beginning of COVID. So like, and again, I want to use my words very, very carefully. I'm not thanking COVID for meeting him, but if it wasn't for COVID, I wouldn't have met him. I was traveling. I was all over the place. There was no way. However, COVID also brought in a lot of like internal demons, me gaining weight, my self-confidence was gone. Like just, so I had to refine myself again while telling other women, you're beautiful just the way you are. But then I'm like covering up and I'm wearing like, I'm hating my body and I'm complaining to Kenny and he's like, you're beautiful. And I'm like, shut up, not today. And so I didn't want to be a hypocrite. So I think it was 2 years ago, I started posting more of actually how I look and like chilling out on the filters and showing more double chin more.
Yeah.
And because it just, and also I'm 36, I'm getting older, and I don't want other women to have like a unrealistic expectation of what our faces are supposed to look like.
Right. Well, and also like a lot of what we do can be on social media, and then eventually they're going to meet you. And
especially in person with me. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And that's, I mean, coming from like the entertainment industry, like our headshots to casting directors have to look like us, or you'll walk into an audition room and you're like,
they're like, oh, that's not you.
That's not what you look like.
Yeah.
And so there are a lot of things obviously in that world where you are hired based on like how you present yourself and, and so I guess that also goes back to being very aware of how we look, know, and that's either going to be your inner demon or that's going to be your light, know, and that's going to make you celebrate that sets you apart from someone else, and so you have a choice. You can be like, oh, I wish I looked like all of these people, or I look like me and thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I I started watching My Big Fat Fabulous Life or something like that. I don't know if you've seen it.
I haven't,
It's like
no.
a TLC or something like that show. Because as I'm editing, I have to watch something, right? And so I have to
Okay.
I'll lose my mind, even if it's in the background.
Sure.
But as I'm editing, I'll just kind of like glance. But most of the time, I'm like at the computer. But as something's in the background, it distracts me. Anyways, so her name's Whitney, and Whitney Thor or whatever. She's amazing. There's 12 seasons, so I was like, 12 seasons? I have at least a few weeks watching this that I can edit. So that's what made me,
Yeah.
So, but she was like 380 pounds, and she was doing this like reality TV just to like show people that you're even big girls can dance.
Cool.
So that's her thing, dancing.
Love it.
She was like, I can't stand when you get people on the outskirts and you go to a wedding and the big people are sitting down because they're embarrassed to dance in front of other people, or they feel like they can't dance because they're big. So anyways, that she goes on this whole thing about it. And now because she's on TV, it took her like a while to really accept, like she was at first afraid to eat on TV because it's like, yes, I'm a big girl, but people are still going to think what is she doing eating pizza? That's why you're fat, kind of thing. So I really gravitated and gained a lot of motivation from her too, because she was like, you know what? I had to be like, no, this is just me. I can't just hide this. I'm a hypocrite if I tell all these big girls, you love your body,
right?
But then on TV and now I'm hiding and I'm not really showing what it actually is to be a big girl. And then I was like, that's me. What am I doing over here trying to hide myself and like try to put filters on and try not to love myself and but I'm also telling women like, you're gorgeous just the way you are, and I'm not doing that myself.
Right.
So I had to really take my own pill for sure, because I was a huge hypocrite. And then once I started doing that, it did take, because there were pictures, I was like, okay, just post it, I don't care. But also it changed my mind to where like I was in pictures more, so I wasn't afraid to, like, for instance, as moms, we all know as moms that we're the picture taker. We're rarely in the pictures because we're the ones taking the pictures.
Right.
Dads, people that, actually one of my aunts is amazing. I invite her over. She's always taking pictures. Awesome.
That's awesome.
But I mean, it's a woman thing too. Let's be honest.
Yeah. We capture the candids.
Yeah.
We just do.
So, but I also was kind of self-sabotaging myself in a sense because like I didn't want pictures of me not looking good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I still want a picture. So like, and then as I just did this, I was like, I don't care. As long as I'm in some pictures with my family and we're making memories and I'm here. And so I love that. And I think that you're doing the same thing, but clothing, which is so important. Obviously, we all have to wear clothing every single day. And I think that that's a huge thing where I do love black, but I think personally, like, I really don't branch out into a lot of colors. And I don't know if I do that subconsciously because I don't think I look good in them or if I feel like I look fatter in brighter colors. I've just always like, because I think I gravitate to the darker colors too.
Sure. And then black is always like, it's subtle or it's slimming or it's professional. Yeah. It blends into everything. I mean, we're both in black right now. I personally love this top and I will wear a tutu for anything. If
I love that.
Give me an excuse to
you
wear
put
a tutu,
that on, I was like, that's amazing.
And I will be fine. Yeah. And I love fringe on my shoes, but which are probably coming off here because you look comfy and I want to do that. Woo! Yeah. And I totally understand your color scheme. Actually, a friend of mine and I were just talking about this like yesterday or the day before about how our palettes change as we get older though too. And so I know that certain people have like certain skin tones that will look great in warmer colors rather than cooler or vice versa, right? You have your spring and fall and your summer and winter palettes. But I also am very much like, wear whatever you want, And my favorite color is blue. My eyes happen to be blue. Yeah, I wear a lot of blue, but it's not my favorite color to wear. I actually love tans and whites and blacks. Like I gravitate more to neutrals now rather than like the royal blues I used to, or even the vibrant colors I used to wear in college.
Yeah, I feel like back in the day, like you were very vibrant.
Yes, very vibrant. Like pinks and
like I said,
greens.
my memories of you when we were younger is very girly girl. Yeah. Not like that you were walking around in like. Not girly girl like Mean Girls where you're in like stilettos and like all the no. You were just very bright and very colorful. I love that we knew each other in high school. So high school for me was I think the start of my
internal love of fashion. And I use fashion so like easily because even though I didn't study it, I always admired it. And I love that it's freeing. I love that it's independent. I love that you can do whatever you want and celebrate what your style is in fashion. You know, it's a part of art. And I grew up in a musician family. And so it's
a lot
just,
of creatives in your family.
yeah,
for sure.
exactly. So it's just another way to be creative, right? And as a photographer, like you're creative in your own way as well. So, I mean, clothes to me was just another challenge in that area. And so I would challenge myself, and I don't think a lot of people knew this, but I would challenge myself not to wear the same thing twice. Now, that didn't mean I didn't wear the same shirt more than once. It didn't mean that I didn't wear the same pair of jeans or skirt or shoes or whatever. It meant that I didn't pair them together more than once. So I would take I would challenge myself if I had 10 pairs of pants, like, or bottoms, you know, and then I had like 20 tops, and my sister and I shared a closet as well. So I also got to pick from hers. And I've been working since I was 15, and most of my paychecks went to Hollister and Abercrombie and Fitch, let's be honest, in the early 2000s. So, my first job was at the Dairy Queen. I have to shout them out. And that basically sponsored my shopping sprees every other week when I got paid. And I would challenge myself to partner certain tops with certain bottoms that I had not done before. And I carried that through college. And it got a little vain, I will say. And I had to check myself with that because I would even say if I've been photographed in it, I don't want to wear it again.
Oh.
And I was like, Takara, that is not realistic. You do not have the money for that at all. But that also encouraged me to shop and thrift and give back and give away, donate, trade, sell, and not waste it. Like, I don't waste an outfit. I will give it to another loving home, or I'll trade it with somebody else who has an outfit that I want. And or borrowing, whatever, you know, and I will thrift. I'll go to Ross. I love TJ Maxx and Marshalls. Love. Half, like, basically my entire house is Home Goods. But I love a bargain. And so if somebody compliments me on something, my mom used to get so mad at me when I would do this. Somebody would compliment me on my outfit and I'd be like, girl, Ross, $7. And they'd be like, what? And my mom would go, can you just say thank you? And I'm like, it's even,
I do the same thing, though.
It's even more awesome. It's more,
because they'll be like, no way, I can get that for $7.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's even cuter now that I know it's so cheap. Yeah. And so that's like always been my go-to when I've received compliments about what I'm wearing. And I'm pretty sure these shoes were from TJ Maxx. They were probably $24.99. The tag might still be on the bottom of them because that's how they're
so hard to get off too. Right. So I'm like,
this tutu I've had for at least 10 years, I want to say. I'm surprised there's not any holes in it. That's probably from Ross, and this is from a boutique.
I love it.
So, but yeah, I think I love the challenge of putting things together. And I think that's why I have loved so much working with my clients, because I am an outsider's perspective. I can look at their closet that they see every day that I'm seeing for the first time and being like, this looks good.
So let's back up real quick. So essentially from a start to finish. Yeah. So I know you just mentioned you go to their closets and everything like that. So let's back up. Let's go. Someone inquires this with you. Yep. So what's the process typically?
So we will do, I will send a form to them. Okay. And I have a Google form like so many people do. And it just helps me get an idea of what they're looking for, if I'm the right person for them. Yeah. So they'll basically fill out my style form and they will introduce themselves. I ask them questions like, how do you feel about yourself right now? For real. Like, let's real talk, you know? What do you have an event that you're going to that you need help styling for, or do you want an entire wardrobe situation to happen? How do you shop normally? Do you shop virtually, or do you like to go in person and try things on? Do you like shopping, or do you hate it? where do you normally shop? If you do shop in person, are you a Target gal or do you like to go to the mall? And what kind of lifestyle are you looking to style? Do you want business attire or are you like, girl, I live in sweatpants and I need some just normal clothes, or whatever they think
like
normal
me, I have
is.
like 90% leggings. Actually, I have a lot of jeans now I lost a little bit of weight, so they're starting to fit me again. But it's been a leggings type of girl for about 3 years since COVID.
I love me some leggings. I know.
I'm wearing them now.
Yeah. And I honestly, I love compression leggings, not because of they feel like they make me feel like, but they just make my muscles feel good. So even my leggings, I'm like, they just make my body feel better. I feel less sore.
I love it. So they'll fill out this form.
Yep, they'll fill out the form. And then, obviously they'll put their phone number down. I'll ask if I can text it or if they prefer email instead. And then I schedule a one-on-one consultation with them. Okay. And it's completely free. And we just talk for 30 minutes about what their intentions are, what their expectations are in hiring me.
Yeah.
And so, and then we dive more into body image, body dysmorphia, what you're dealing with, why don't you think you can do it yourself, what you've been struggling with, what...
I almost feel like you're like a therapist in a little bit.
Okay, yeah, okay. So somebody said to me, I was explaining what I did to them at a party, and I was like, you know what? I'm kind of like the non-professional therapist that is in retail therapy. I am not certified to be a therapist, but let me tell you, I've been through some, can I curse?
Yep.
I have been through some shit. And
the amount of F-bombs I've dropped on this damn podcast.
Okay. So I have been every size. I have felt so many different ways about myself. We talk about that. Yeah. We talk about the good, bad, and the ugly, and the whys. Like, why do we feel like this? Yeah. Why do we feel so shitty about ourselves, And what did that stem from? And so retail therapy is a thing, and I think it stems from looking at your closet, like I was just saying, and being like, that is going to look terrible on me. Why don't I get new clothes so I can feel better about myself? But I don't want to go shopping because I feel shitty about myself. So I don't want to stare at myself in the air. Yeah, right. I don't want to stare at the mirror. I don't want to go through the racks of double digits because I've never been there before. Like I went through that. I was like, I've always been a 6 or an 8, and now I'm having to buy a 12. Like, I'm leaving. I'm not shopping. I'm not buying that. I refuse. And we just go through that, and it's a mind fuck. It's really just, and then you just have to get over it.
It ruins your whole day.
Yeah, for sure. And so I mean, there have been times where my clients are like, I have to take a breather because I'm about to break down, and I'm like, dude, same. Yeah. You're speaking to me, So I totally get it, and so we'll talk it out. We'll talk about expectations. We'll talk about budget, because I am a business. I have let's see. Yeah. And that's about it. And so then after our convo's done, it's quick, short, to the point. I will email them a recap of what we talked about and see if they want to add anything. And I'll also email them my packages. And I have 4 different tiers that they can choose from. Yeah. Obviously, it's me and them. So they can personalize whatever they want. Yeah. So if they like tier 1, but they like a little bit of tier 2, we'll just add figure it out. Yeah. I love it. So we'll work together and make it happen. And then I look at timeline. Some of them just want a one-off. They're like, I have a wedding to go to, and I need to look banging. Okay. Because I haven't seen these people in forever, and my ex-husband's going to be there or whatever. And I'm like, awesome. Let's go.
You need that revenge dress.
I understand. So I will, we'll deal with the deadline and we'll pencil it in, whether or not I send them a virtual style guide with links that I have found that they can shop themselves, and I'll just continuously send them things, or we will plan a time to go shop. And you'll go shopping usually I start at 2 hours. And then we add on for them.
You can just go to the mall and and you already know their sizes and dimensions and everything. Yeah. And you're just now. What happens if you go to the mall and you see that they're just starting to break down, or they're not finding it? Maybe do you ever have issues of you finding
that has never
something?
Happened yet?
Love that.
Nope. Nope.
And do you do like some research on maybe stores that are going to be set for them? So they're almost like you're not setting yourself up for failure. You don't want to walk into a store and everything's
and that's why I ask, like, where do you normally shop in my initial form, but that they fill out. Like, if you love Target, you already know what size you are, you already know what brands they carry. That's fine. We can try that first. But if that doesn't work out, then we're gonna try my stores, you know, or maybe we'll just try mine in the first place, you know? So the mall's great because there's many different options within obviously walking distance. But I love a Nordstrom Rack. I love to bargain. And if I can get a bang for their buck, you know, even if we go to the outlets and we go to like a Saks off Fifth, or I don't know, J. Crew has awesome business pieces for not very expensive when you go to the outlet, and they usually have every size under the sun still, you know?
Awesome.
So, and when it comes to like what's in right now, I don't care. I want them to feel good. So,
okay, so you don't follow trends, fashion trends?
Yes and no. Like,
okay,
fashion is an opinion. Right?
Because I really do think that clothing is can be an art form.
Right.
So it's art is subjective.
Right. So like if I have somebody, like I just had a client who was in her mid 40s. She doesn't want to wear high-waisted, wide-leg jeans that are coming back.
See, I'm not into it either.
Right. And so it's a generational
I feel like
thing.
wider in it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like the size 2 gals, they look great in them. Whatever, do you. But she didn't even want to try that trend, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, cool,
she
whatever.
Knew that it's just not for her.
Yeah. So
I think it's because our parents, like, I remember just, it's a little nostalgic for me, the high-waisted. I don't mind high waist, but with the flared, that's like a whole like 90s kind of thing. I'm just like, I'm not
I don't
really
mind a
into
flare. I actually kind of dig that the bell bottoms are coming back, but that's my country girl side in me. But
yeah, that's true.
But the wide leg, like that, it's like an elephant pant from like the waist down.
Oh, no.
There's like no curve in them. She was like, I don't understand why this is coming back. I don't understand. And like the cargo pants are back, you know?
Yeah.
And
oh my gosh, my son wants cargo pants. That's all he wants.
Yeah.
Is cargo
And
pants.
I'm like, okay, we're all fishermen again. Great. Yeah. So,
well, that's good.
Awesome.
Because I know I'm not a crazy like picky dresser, but I know things that would not be. Yeah, take those shoes off, girl.
Yeah. They're comfortable, but I want to say Indian style, and I don't want to puncture.
Yeah. I know that there's certain styles I personally know that I wouldn't like. And anything that's like bell bottoms is just, it just reminds me of walking to the bus and my bottom of my pants are soaked because they drug on them.
Yes. I totally understand.
No, just not I'm out of that.
Yeah. No, I remember. I've always been really tall though, so it's actually a struggle to find bell bottoms that are long enough that don't look like
So that's one thing
pants.
I wanted to bring back up.
Yeah.
Maybe for some younger girls that are watching, or anyone, to be honest. I remember in school you were taller. You were one of the taller girls.
Yeah, I've been 5'7" since 8th grade.
Yeah, so I'm 5'1", and I was probably 5 foot. Like when we met, but did you? Now, not now, because I mean you found yourself and you know, but before, let's say, when you're in high school or, trying to do your self-identity, like, was that hard to find clothes because you were tall?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And that's when my body dysmorphia started, was 8th grade. I literally, I was pretty average, like growing into my adolescence, like 5th, 6th, 7th grade. I was still taller than all the boys in my class. But you start comparing yourself not just to like the height of the boys in your class, but to the girls in your class. And I was taller than all the girls. I started looking older than I was, which all the girls were jealous of me for, and all the boys paid attention for me of me.
Like you matured more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that got me self-conscious, even though I was like, okay, I'll own this, I guess, in my, what are you, 11 years old then?
Yeah.
12. But 8th grade started, and I was dancing, like, I've been dancing since I was 3 years old. So I was in probably like 10 hours of classes every week.
Oh, wow.
And I was very, very active. And I was not eating, like anorexia to the nines. My ballet teacher had to pull my mom aside. And when your ballet teacher, who encourages you to eat healthy and like kind of be a certain
slim, because in ballet you have to be
a dancer.
Yeah.
She pulled my mom aside and was like, "You need to watch her." because I was getting so thin. And I look at pictures from our recital that year, and my arms are just like, my elbow is wider than my bicep. Like, it's just, oh gosh. And so I was very unhealthy in my head, my body. And then freshman year, it was a little bit better because we knew more people. There were more people in our class, you know, and I was like, okay, like, people are my size now, you know, I'm meeting new people, but it was still in my head, especially as a dancer. And I wouldn't eat all day. I would work out.
Like at school?
Yeah. So I would get up at 5 and I would rollerblade with a neighbor friend of mine. We would rollerblade.
5 a.m.?
5 a.m. Rollerblade every other day before high school, 3 miles.
I can't even
take a
get my high
shower.
school
I would not
up.
eat breakfast. I would not eat lunch. I would save the money that I was going to spend on lunch to shop that weekend. I already told you that. Or if I was feeling like not good, I would eat the free pretzels that came with the sub sandwiches, and I would dip them in mustard, and that would be like my lunch. But then I would get home and I would gorge myself.
Binge,
I would,
because you're starving.
So hungry, and I would feel so crappy before dance class. And when I started driving, I would eat so much after school that I would feel so crappy, like in my own skin and about myself, and feel bloated that I didn't want to stare at myself in the mirror in a leotard and tights. So I would skip class without telling my parents because of my own problems, like because of my own vision of myself. I was like, well, I just ate a bunch and I can't be in a leotard and tights right now, and I can't look at myself and like that. But I had not eaten all day long. Whereas now, as an adult, obviously when you binge, you're going to feel gross no matter what, if you ate or not.
You gain more weight
binging
than...
And like, I stopped my metabolism. Like, it was awful. And honestly, I kind of blame that chapter of my life with all the hormonal issues I had later. But I mean, who knows? Hormones affect everything. Yeah. But I mean, like I said, I've been at every weight, shape under the sun because of my relationship with food and hormones and life.
And it brought you here to motivate other women.
And honestly, like, that's what we all should be doing. You know, our experience should help influence and help others, I think. And so,
and I think, like, you're 100% right. And I think anyone that's watching, maybe they feel like they can't, or they're just normal. They're nobody. Like, you can't motivate somebody. And I promise you can. Yeah. I'm not, like, as much as online and social media as it may seem, like, I'm all in front of the camera and I'm like doing my every single day stories on all of my many different platforms and pages. I actually, like, sometimes I don't really want to post, or like I don't have to, like, but like, for every little thing that is going on in my life, my struggles or my weight loss that I'm doing now, or what I'm doing, work, anything, I started documenting it and showcasing it more, because I knew that if that there had to be someone else out there that's like me that could possibly get inspiration from it. Yep. And then the second that I started posting, or the second I just started sharing more of my personal life, I just got flooded with people. Yeah. Every single day, tons of DMs asking questions. And that's why I keep doing it now, is because I love this community I'm building. But there was a lot of, like, self-internal. I had to really look myself in the face in the mirror and be like, all right, you can't be this while you're saying this and yada yada. Yeah. So let's go back to business side. Okay. So
we can like literally just be on our soapboxes and therapy it out.
I love this. This is like, I can go all day talking about this. So let's talk about the one where you mentioned going inside their closet.
Okay. Yeah. So I can help you purge, which can also be an emotional roller coaster, you know,
if you saw my closet right now, you'd be like, oh shoot, there's a lot of fucking clothes in here.
Yeah.
Kenny would love you for that.
Yeah. He's like,
I'm not kidding.
Yeah. So I've been helping people purge their closets for a long time, like, you know, and I think you have that friend that has tough love, right? And the tough love needs to happen in the closet, because
I feel like we'll all keep those jeans that Well, one day when I get skinny.
Yeah, and that's the thing. But that's what also makes you start thinking like, oh, I wish I was that size. And I don't know if I'll ever be that size again. And do I keep them? What are they serving me right now?
Yeah.
And so that's the thing. And it's like, if it's not creating joy, if it's not, what was her name that did, she basically helps you purge your life. Marie Kondo, is that her name?
I'm not sure.
I don't
I'd
remember.
Have to look into that.
She had a show and she was like, if it doesn't bring you joy, then bye-bye. So that's basically
I love
it.
that.
But
I need to watch that.
If it doesn't serve you right now
I love that.
in a way that is productive or good, just let's go.
That's like almost my motto for the last almost 2 months now. That I've really changed everything in my life.
That's awesome. And it's working.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
because it's everything in life. You have to really look at every single thing. Even people. You got to purge people sometimes. And
absolutely.
I had to do that.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think it helps a lot when you're looking at your closet every morning. So I basically will come in and we will start in the closet and then I'll work to the drawers. Depending on if you have clothes in your drawers. A lot of people just use like PJs and underwear and socks, you know? But we will go through and I'm like, what does this shirt mean to you? And they're like, it doesn't fit anymore. And I was like, okay, bye. And so we make different piles. So we do like a not sure pile because I will give you grace. And we'll do a not sure pile. And we'll do a donate pile if it's in good condition, but you are not going to, you don't see yourself wearing it. And then we have a trash pile that has like stains, just rips, tears, whatever.
Okay.
And then we go through everything. We go through the entire closet and I literally look at everything. Okay, what's this? Try it on. Okay, you're not sure if you like it? Let's try it on, you know? And we do a try on and they'll normally be like, oh, okay, yeah, this works, you know? And then sometimes they'll look at themselves in the mirror and they're like, no, I don't like it. And I'm like, okay, donate or trash, whatever.
Because there are days I've bought stuff and I'm like, what was I thinking?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't even know
or
if I
you
like
buy something, you didn't try it on.
Yeah.
It still has the tags on and you forgot you bought it. So now
I have
it's been
a
in your
lot of
closet.
that. I
Yeah.
have a lot.
So now not only are you wasting time shopping for things you don't remember you had, but you're wasting money on things that you don't remember you had and you haven't worn yet.
Yes.
And now you're wasting space in the
Yep.
place that carries all of the things that you're supposed to be wearing. So it's just like, and then it's like a brand new item and it's like, oh, it's like Christmas morning. This is brand new to me and I've had it for a year.
Yeah.
Now, does it fit? Do you still like it? You know, and the list goes on. So,
because there are times where it still fits, they still like it, but maybe they just didn't have an event to wear it to.
Sure.
But see, like, are you more of, so what if you don't have an event? Wear it? Or are you like, do you encourage them to step outside
if you have the budget to buy whatever, whenever, like, if you like something, so my rule is sleep on it. If you're unsure about like a big purchase item, for instance, like a dress or a pair of shoes or like a really great pair of jeans, or like, I don't know, maybe you're a lawyer and you're just like, I want that suit so much, but it's like $400 and sleep on it. If you cannot think about anything else, then go get it and make the sacrifice in your life and to be able to afford it. That's another thing too. I think women and men look at money differently. And I think women and men look at spending money on themselves differently. And so, like a man will go and buy themselves a round of golf, no problem. Eat out for lunch, no problem. They don't see that as like, this is for me. Like a woman would, I'm taking myself shopping. I'm treating myself to lunch, to dinner, to happy hour, whatever it is, you know, because I don't know if it's like the mom guilt that maybe we have. I don't know. Or even if you're not a mom, time, like you're just like, no, but I'm saving for my 401k or I'm saving for this vacation or I'm saving for Christmas presents or whatever the case is. I think we just think about it differently. So when it comes to prioritizing how we spend our money, even on ourselves, even in investing in a stylist or an event planner or a photographer or a videographer, it's like there are certain things in your life that you can take out for a time.
Yeah.
And put back in eventually, but take out for a time in order to get what you are desiring now.
Yeah.
So I honestly, as like personally, I go through I'm an adult. I need to save my money. I don't want to work forever. I'm going to retire wealthy.
Yeah.
And then I go through YOLO.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
What if I don't live to enjoy my retirement?
Yeah.
You know, I need to see every
create memories
country
now.
in the world,
Yeah.
you know, and so I
It's
go
definitely a
through all
normal
of this.
struggle for sure.
For sure. But, so I know we're getting on tangents, but, so when it goes to purging, a lot of what can go through your mind too is like, oh my gosh, we got rid of a lot and now I have to fill it and I don't have the money to. So the donate pile that I was talking about, I have also partnered with somebody who has accounts like on Poshmark and eBay and other sites. And she will take like bags of clothes and help sell them and send you a check for whatever she sells. And you can give her a timeline. If she doesn't sell like the majority of it within, I don't know, 3 months, however long you want to give her, then she'll give it back to you and you can donate, or she'll donate it to a women's shelter herself. So you don't even have to look at it again. Okay. So that has been awesome because a client of mine, we literally purged probably 80% of her clothes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But when I tell you, she was the type of person where she would find one thing at a store and then buy it in every color. And so when
I have that bad habit of doing that too.
Yeah. Well, when that one thing doesn't work anymore, all of those things don't work anymore. And I'm like that with shoes. I can be like that with shoes.
I was just like more so for my work. So like if I find a black pair of like pants that I'm like, oh, this is perfect, where I will get so many of the same black pair because I have to wear them for work. Yeah. Or because I mean, I'm my own boss, so I have my own uniform, so I can mix it up as long as it's all black. And like, I have we also own a we can make custom T-shirt company as well. So it's like, so literally we put our logo. Oh my gosh, we have. I feel like we do everything. So we make our own work shirts with our own logos because we have a whole press and a whole freaking thing back there to make your own T-shirts.
Cool.
So that's one thing I'll do. Or if I find like a top, I'm like, oh my God, my boobs look so good in this. I'll get a couple of the same same thing.
No, I get it. But like in her case, that didn't work anymore.
Oh yeah, it didn't.
She hated it.
Yeah.
So she hated the way she looked in those items. So we purged like 80% of her closet. And so she was like, it's bare. What am I going to do? So I reached out to my partner and she just sent her a check and was like, I'm going to buy the whole lot. And then no matter what I sell, like, here you go. So it just depends on, but it depends on like the brands. It depends on the condition. It depends like, on that, you know, on her side of things, and totally understandable. But it's an option, you know, so you don't have to do it yourself because
and you're making some money back on your clothes.
Yeah, exactly. To spend on new ones that serve you now, you know? And so that's what I do. And then I obviously can help you shop for new items to replenish the closet. So, it works out really well and everybody's happy. It's a win-win and we feel good about it. And it's an emotional roller coaster because sometimes, you know, the things that you're going through in the closet, you're like, oh, I wore that to such and such event, you know, and I don't want to get rid of it. Or I was hired in the job I love in that shirt, but I don't think I'll ever wear it again. Or whatever. Yeah. Connection. Yeah. You know, it could be a nostalgic piece. So in those instances, I'm like, okay, then keep it, you know, but if you don't want to, don't.
I love it.
So, yeah.
What are some maybe very common mistakes that people make in general?
Thinking they can't pull it off. I think like,
so then how do you combat that? So we're like if you're shopping and you know, let's be real, most moms have a little fufa, they have a little mommy patch. How do we go from trying certain things like to where you most of the time they don't want to try things on because they can see it, but also accepting your body, but also finding something that may still kind of hide it, but also represent it. Like, where do you find that balance?
I think dressing for your body type is so important. I think that's why I've received attention for what I wear. I know my shape. I'm an hourglass. I literally cinch me at the waist and I will look like $1,000,000. But you put me in a shift dress where it's a box. My legs look big, like where it cuts off. Like I have bigger arms.
So you help them with what kind of body shape they have.
And because I will point out, they will point out what they don't like on their bodies.
Okay, yeah.
And then I will go and I will find things that accentuate the pieces of clothing that will help the attention go somewhere else. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like if somebody is
rather than hiding their flaws, you show their like
that they're fine.
Yeah,
they're not
the things that they do like about them.
Right. Exactly. So like for instance, I just had a client who had to get a mother of the groom dress. And so, so this is a special event. It's a one-off. We went shopping though. So instead of sending her different options that she could just order, we went and tried on gowns. And so I knew that she wanted to show her tattoo because it was meaningful to the groom, to her son. And so she wanted her arm shown. She didn't care about she wasn't super conservative for her chest, but she didn't want to be a distraction. She wanted more of a, instead of an empire waist, she wanted more of like a baby doll waist. So, which is usually right under the breast instead of the waist.
But you know all of this.
Yeah.
So, like, let's say someone knows nothing, zilch about fashion.
Yeah.
And they're like, what the hell is a baby doll waist?
Yeah.
You know, so you would help them with this.
Of course. Yeah. And then if they're like, I have no idea what that is. And then I would obviously show them pictures or explain like how I'm doing right now. Yeah, for sure. And she was like, I want to be in flats. And I'm like, okay, great. And so knowing what she did not want and what she did want, I mean, obviously that gives me direction and that works for both of us.
Yeah.
So we're not just flying by the seat of our pants. We have a mission and we can accomplish it because I have XYZ and she knows I'm going to do well for her. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now let's go dive into the business side of things.
Cool.
So you started this business. How did you, now this is going for anybody that may be interested in also styling or just interested in starting a business in general. It doesn't even have to do with fashion. It's just in your experience and your how you started things. How did you come to your branding style?
Yeah.
How did you come to basically promote your business? How did you launch this? How did you get the word out? Because this, I do not want to word it that it's a luxury, but it's definitely a self-care type of, you're helping people. So like, it's not like I wouldn't say a necessity because I think this is awesome, but how do you branch yourself to find those clients essentially? So let's start with branding.
Yeah, for sure. So I knew that when I started Synthesized, I did not want to be your typical personal stylist because when you think of personal stylist, you think of somebody wealthy, right? Just kind of automatically.
Because who nowadays actually, when someone says like, oh, I have a stylist, I'm like, holy shit, who are you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, exactly. Like, oh, my stylist put this together for like my red carpet event.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, immediately think bougie and out of your
like,
price range.
Can't afford that.
Right, exactly. And so when I was thinking about it, I'm like, I don't want to be that person. I don't like, and I started researching and I started,
people can actually.
I started researching like what other stylists charge. A lot of them work on commission. So they're pushing you to purchase because they're making money on the clothing that they're styling you in. Yeah.
So do they only work with certain brands? How does that work?
They probably have a partnership with them or at certain stores. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not knowledgeable in any
So I didn't want
I
anything like that because that's too pigeonholed anyway. I don't want to work for a company. I want to work for me. And I want to work for you.
Yeah.
So it was something that I wanted to make sure I was affordable to the everyday person. So I am a personal stylist for the everyday person. And that's how I word it to anyone. And
personal stylist for the I love that.
I was thinking about it and I was like, average person? I'm like, no, that's not a good word. Ordinary? No. Like
because you don't want that. Certain words can sound less than.
Right. And I don't want to feel like I'm discriminating against anyone's pocket. I don't want that feeling for anyone at all. So I wanted to be within reach for anyone. And in every day. And so whether it's an event or it's, okay, I just need better clothes to like go to lunch in, you know, get me out of my yoga pants or my sweatpants and my tank tops, like whatever, you know,
or just like a whole new, it's 2024 and I need a new me. I need a whole new, like, change
for
me.
Sure. For sure. So yeah. And and even a whole new me going into that, I have partnerships with makeup and hair, and I know a million photographers, and like, let's do this for you, you know, especially if you are starting a business, you're starting a new brand, or you're starting a new job of some sort, a new lifestyle, like, let's capture this and make it the best version of you,
for sure.
You know, in your current self. So, so that's kind of how I went about like branding. I wanted to be within arm's reach for anyone. And so that's how I set up my prices as well. Now there are obviously bigger tiers that are more on the pricey side because it's more of my time. So
you got to get paid. Everybody has to get paid.
Exactly. I've got 2 children to feed. Okay. And they eat everything. So, and so does my husband, even though he doesn't look like it. Okay. He's the size of my thigh and he eats more than I do.
He's really tall though.
He is tall. His metabolism is just not fair. But, anyway, so we're a business. We cost money. However, I wanted it to be like, okay, I don't want you to think I am more than the clothes you're going to purchase. Right? Because you're buying my services and you're buying clothes. So to some people that's like, oh my gosh, so what? You know?
Yeah. But you're also like I said, a therapist.
Yeah.
You're cleansing out the old negative when you put on these clothes and they don't fucking fit. Yeah. And you're like, I'm just over this shit.
Yeah. We're talking through it. We're going through it together for sure.
What was I going to say? Okay. So how do you, as far as the business end, how do you get your brand out there? How do you advertising?
I literally was playing around on Canva and I like created my logo and I sent it to a friend of mine, or I've sent it to 2 friends of mine who have their own businesses too. And I was like, what do you guys think?
Yeah.
And they were like, love it. Love it. Here are some pointers. And I'm like, amazing. Thank you so much. And so it's synthesized. And then in my logo, it says life period, style period, planning period, because we talk about life and then we talk about style. And then if you need me to plan, I can do that too. So I have a chapter of event planning as well. So I can do it all. I can style you for the event I'm throwing you. So, it's synthesized lifestyle planning. And so,
but how do you get the business out there for like the advertising? So, how do you find your clients?
I mean, honestly, a lot of my band fans have come up to me and they were like, what? You're doing this? This is amazing. So that's been awesome. Plus I've gotten to know them too, which is really, really cool.
Yeah. Well, let's backtrack real quick just so the listeners know, you also are in a band.
Yes.
Okay. So I think we hit that like at the very beginning, but so essentially what's your band name?
So we are Hayfire.
Okay.
Hayfire. And we are, 6 years now. Yeah. 6-year consecutive year winner of best cover band of Orlando.
Amazing.
Yeah. So
that probably, I mean, being in front of people performing, we see it every single day with any and all type of celebrities. They get criticized left and right of body image. So do you think that went hand in hand with like you're on stage and you got a bunch of people looking at you and like what you're wearing, or hey, last time I saw her she was a little skinny, or what happened? You know what I mean?
Oh, those comments come all the time.
So did you go through that mental battle of that whole process?
For sure. And you just smile and grin and bear it, you know, because you're also representing the band. So like I can't get all sassy on somebody who's like trying right. Yeah, exactly. Like, who the fuck do you think you are right now? Like
I'm just
how
entertaining
dare you comment on my body? You don't know me. You know what I mean? And so it's just you can't be like that, you know, and as much as you want to sometimes. And I mean, there were times, you know, I love, and by love I mean hate, the saying, oh, you look great for just having a baby. And I'm like,
oh yeah. Or you look great for 36.
Yeah.
I'm like, the fuck
I'm
does
like,
that mean?
I didn't before, or can I not just look great, period? Yeah. So, and I'm
There should
like,
not be like, you look great for or but.
Yeah.
There should be nothing. You look great.
yeah.
Thank you.
Or don't comment at all.
Yeah.
Your opinion, like,
Yeah.
doesn't need to be
Who
said.
are you anyways?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I am very mindful of that too. When I notice like maybe a shift in somebody's weight or something, I don't know how they got there because like when I was diagnosed with PCOS, I lost a bunch of weight because of the diet I had to be on, and it was painful and I hated it. And so when people were like, you look great, and I'm like, well, I hate myself.
Yeah.
And I hate everything
PCOS,
right now.
but I've had PCOS since I had Aiden. Aiden, because I gained so much weight, it shot me up. And all of a sudden, after I had PCOS at age 20, and then it literally, I held on the baby weight for about 8 years. I couldn't, it was the worst to get anything off of me. And then my hair I started losing my hair.
Yep. It's awful.
It's terrible. And I'm still, you don't really ever get rid of it. You can manage it.
Right.
And I'm still dealing with my hormone issues.
Yeah. Yep.
It's insane.
Awful. I mean, and hormones control everything. And I can go on a tangent about hormones too, because I had to deep dive into that for my lifestyle change. But I had to change my diet to get pregnant because I had a 10% chance. And
well,
so,
most people with PCOS, they can't get pregnant. And
Right.
that's why
Yeah.
I don't know. I was young when I had my son. I was 20. So I don't know if I had it before or, again, I just found out I had PCOS after I had him. So that's why for a long time I wanted another baby, could not have one.
Right. Yeah. And it's wild. It's wild. And and that's why I never got pregnant with my ex. And thank God, you know.
Well, I say that all the time. I'm like, thank God I didn't have another one.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. It's so true.
Maybe there was a reason for it.
But I found out I had PCOS at the perfect time. You know, it was right after my my current husband and I got married, and I was like, this all makes sense. And so she was like, we need to take XYZ out of your diet and before I put you on pills. And so I did that. And 8 months later, we got pregnant.
Awesome.
So it was a blessing.
Yeah.
And, you know my story. We did lose him, but we got pregnant a year later. And it was, I have 2 beautiful children. So, but I also know what makes me feel good. And so I had to do that again this year. So I'm like, all right, gluten, bye, dairy, bye. I get it. But it's fine.
Everyone has different types of PCOS or different things that trigger certain things. Yeah. So just making a statement here. Don't go off of anything that said. We are not doctors or professionals. We just have there's tons of women that I know that have PCOS and they have a completely different symptoms than I have.
1,000%. Yeah.
All hormones are just insane.
Yep.
Because they
control everything.
You can't even your symptoms could be probably 100% different from my symptoms, and then someone else has the crazier symptoms, and so you know.
So something that I have to consider, for instance, being on stage, is I am a sweater. I sweat all the time, and I live in Florida. So it's hot all the time, most of the time, and a lot of our gigs are outside. I am on stage outside as a sweater all the time. So. Like we were talking about, black is my go-to because it doesn't show sweat. Yes. And so
that's why wedding photography, I'm at weddings. So I have to have all this gear on me.
Exactly.
I'd be sweating.
And so that's another consideration I put into picking out clothes for other people.
Yeah. What do
I'm just like, okay, if you have an event to go to, like a wedding, is it outside or inside? Like, how long are you going to be outside? Is the whole thing outside? Like, okay, then we need to consider your comfort in that way, because
look good but also feel good.
Yeah, and especially if you're the mother of the groom, then you're going to be in every picture. So we need to make sure you don't have pit stains or sweat between your boobs. Yeah. Or
I get asked all the time, especially like family sessions and stuff, if I have tips on what to wear, and I always say, because I'm not a stylist, but also like. You have experience, I don't want to say, but I also don't want to be like, oh, wear this, and then they fucking hate it, and then when they get their pictures back, like, I didn't even like what I wore. Why'd you tell me to wear that? You know what I mean? I'm not going to be responsible for that. Yeah. So I'm like, I always say, wear something you feel good in, because then if you feel good, you'll shoot good. Right. And I can shoot you and you'll be comfortable. Don't wear this crazy ball gown, insane thing, and you've never worn a dress in 8 years. Right. Like, you wouldn't even look like yourself.
You have to be yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. And it also goes hand in hand with my boudoir studio. I have a client closet that has thousands of different outfits, and I help the girls pick out their outfits. And I get girls all the time like, oh, but I don't like this one little part, or like this, or this is digging in. And I have to remind them, like, no piece of lingerie is going to be absolutely perfect unless it's tailored to your body physically. But the point is that you can still pull this off, even if you feel that your side is sticking out a little bit. Yeah. Let me take a picture of you and let me show you. And when I do that, they're like, oh my God, that's me?
Proof. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, told you, this outfit is a banger. Right. But again, they don't know because they're like, first of all, they're standing in the like this. Yeah. In front of the mirror. And they're looking with terrible lighting, and they can see their cellulite and they can see their stretch marks. And they're like, this can't be good. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, please, just trust. Yeah. Trust. Yep. So no, I like that you do that, to where you're not just telling them, oh, well, this is what's in, this is what's fashionable, you should wear this is unique. You're tailoring it to where they also like look great, but they feel good in it too. Because there's nothing worse than you're wearing clothes and it's just digging into you.
It's uncomfortable, like, right? And then I talk about undergarments too. It's like if we are talking about like an event, I'm like, how do you feel about undergarments? Do you wear them? Do you not? And if they're like, oh my God, I hate Spanx, I hate them so much. I'm like, okay, cool. Then we're obviously not going to find anything that is going to make you uncomfortable to wear without them. Yeah. So,
or if they just don't like that sensation of being sucked in.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I love compression in my leggings. I also don't like Spanx. So I've never liked pantyhose, like back in the day. Like the only tights I wear is in a dance class or on stage. Yeah. So, yeah.
So let's go back to where, okay, so you're in a band, and so essentially you started this new business. So you're having your band help basically marketing in a sense. So
I mean, kind of sort of like I think my band leader, he announced like my new venture and was like, hey, TK's doing this now. And a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then I'm friends with a lot of them on Facebook too. So they saw me posting about it and they're like, oh my gosh, like I love all of your outfits on stage. Like, please do this for me, you know? And so it was a lot of word of mouth. It was a lot of referrals, like, which is the dream, right? I know that may not be the case forever. So as of right now, I am not doing much, which is great. Like I am just posting about, like,
you're doing my on clients. Social media?
Yeah. Are you doing and so I'm on, it's just Instagram and Facebook right now. I'm not on, I mean, I'm on LinkedIn, but
you should get on TikTok.
I know. You've told me this a million times.
Get on TikTok, Takara. Tell her she's got to get on TikTok. Get on TikTok. I know. Then
I need to hire somebody to do it because I just.
Once you get in the flow, you'll get it. And then it's just like.
I know.
It sucks.
I know you've done so great on TikTok.
I have 4 TikTok pages, 4 that I manage. And then I have 8 Instagram pages that I manage. And I have 9 Facebook pages that I manage.
You're exhausting.
Yeah. And I don't drink coffee or caffeine at all. I can't. Nothing. So that's why part of the reason I had to like get healthy and lose the weight.
What?
I know.
What do you drink?
Water.
I mean, same, but
BCAAs help me a lot, but that has nothing to do with it. That's just like a recovery drink when you're working out. Okay. Come like 7:00, I fucking crash.
Yeah.
No, that's why when you mentioned like earlier, I'm like, fine with that, baby, because I crash. Yeah. I can't even. If it hits like 9:30, I'm like,
oh no. I put my kids to bed at 7:30, and my husband and I are usually in bed by like 9:30.
Yeah. Because I had to be up at 5. Yeah. I had to get teenagers now in high schools.
I went to the gym this morning. My class was at 5.
Look at you. I love that. But and going back to where, like, you mentioned at one point that, especially moms, we have this mom guilt of, like, doing something for ourselves and spending money on ourselves. But I get that too, for sure.
Sure.
But this year, I started December 17th of 2023. Okay. I said, fuck all this. I am done. Yeah. I quit the bad habits. I quit drinking alcohol. I quit drinking sodas. I quit eating terrible foods. We do have cheat meals every so often.
Sure. I mean, you have to.
I gotta live a little bit, okay?
Well, realistically. Like,
and not one part of me hates carbs. I fucking love pizza.
Yeah.
I crave it all the time. Yeah. So, you know,
Shedding.
This year was my year of hustle with the business and save, but also me. I needed to get my health in order.
Yeah.
I needed to put me first and what
Sure.
feels good. Because I'm telling you, COVID really did me in.
Yeah.
And I don't want, 2020 to the beginning, 22. Yeah, because the end of 22, I would say for 2 years, I was just like I was in a new relationship, so we were like in this honeymoon phase. So we're like, let's go out all the time.
Right.
Let's eat shit.
Yeah.
Like my business was starting
Go
to pick
out.
up.
Yeah.
And granted, I was working my tail off, but I was going out just as much as I was working.
Work hard, play hard.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what am I doing? And my son is 1 week on, 1 week off. So the weeks I wouldn't have it, I'm like, woo, let's go.
Right.
And then mom mode the next week, but it still wasn't a great balance. And now this year I'm all about, I hired a trainer, and personal trainers are not cheap.
No.
But that's one of the things I was like, in my brain, I'm like, hell no, I ain't paying that. And then I was like, wait a second. Like, no, I actually have to like think about me first. And this is this is going to help me mentally and physically. And I need to do what's best for me. Exactly. And there's a lot of emotional, I wouldn't say damage, I wouldn't even say trauma, but emotional things that I had to go through. Mm-hmm. And I think like body image was a huge thing, and you're going to help women with that.
Yeah, for sure. I think like anyone's capable of going to the gym and doing whatever. Anyone is capable of going to the mall or online Amazon shopping and getting whatever. Mm-hmm. But like if you want something to change, then you have to do something to change it. Mm-hmm. Like you have to do something that is different than you've been doing in order to get something different out of what you've been doing.
And let's be real, people invest their money, they're going to be more serious about it.
Right.
Like I have a gym membership, and I hired a trainer that doesn't even go to that gym. He has his own gym. Yeah. And I'm paying like obviously way more money for his services than the gym that I don't go to. Mm-hmm. We have a membership. Kenny goes, but I don't. Yeah. But I still have a membership there. But when you're really going to put your money and your effort into something, you're going to be more serious, and you're going to take it seriously. Yeah. And you're going to work on that healing. And so like if they hire you, it's like you're put there. I wouldn't say they're putting more of themselves. Yes, they can go to Walmart and go shop. They can go to Target and go shop. But if they have you, they're going to really dive into this and be like, what is good for me?
Right. Right.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. And what have I been dealing with that I haven't been dealing with? Mm-hmm. Know? And so, I think that's definitely what sets hiring services apart for assisting in those areas of self-care. Yeah. So
as far as, so you're just on social media right now. That's how you're getting your clientele, word of mouth.
Word of mouth. Yeah. And
would you have any advice for somebody, that may want to look into styling? How do people get it? I wouldn't even know. Maybe social media. I wouldn't even know.
Yeah. I would reflect on like your life. Like I would reflect on like, would people buy this from you? Have you received feedback from others talking about this specific topic? And I think that goes with anything, it's like, I don't know if anybody ever said like, oh, Nikki, you have like a great eye for candids. Like these are great pictures. Like you should do something with this, or I don't know. It's like, I don't know, a singer, like you have a great voice. You should start taking lessons, when I started, I've been getting compliments on my outfits since high school. So I never thought about it like that, like as a job, because I've always been a musician too. So I went that route first. I became a dancer. I became a singer. Like I was on stage all the time. And then because of that, that gave me different attention about what I was wearing for those things I was already doing. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, that turned the light bulb. So I feel like anybody who's looking into finding themselves in a position of entrepreneurship or starting something new or changing careers, maybe you're not going to own the business, but you're like, but I work in IT, but I actually want to be in marketing or something. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Like, have others told you like you're good at something? Like, have you actually thought about it?
And that's such a great advice too, because if you, rather than looking at somebody else's strengths, like I love to paint, but I'm just not like passionate about it. And I know that I'll never like, but rather than going like, oh, I've always wanted to be a singer, but you can't fucking sing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I know I'm not a singer. And so rather look at what like you're actually, do you have talent? Do you have talent in something else that you're not really like toning into? So like Kenny, he has a talent, which he didn't know until he got with me, and then I forced him to do certain things for me. He didn't know that he was, he's a very like all around handyman in general. Like he can, if he doesn't know how to do it, he'll find how to do it and he'll do it. But he's great at like carpentry and building things because I was like, hey babe, I need this new prop. And he learned how to do it. And then as he's doing, he's like, he made an English telephone booth.
He made that?
He made that. He built that.
That's so badass.
He made me an antique greenhouse. He built me an outdoor shower. He made this.
Okay, so I have things for you to do at my house.
And I keep telling him, I'm like, babe, do a side hustle of this.
Yeah.
Because you're naturally talented at it. And he doesn't mind building it. He I can see the wheels
People
turning.
will pay for that.
Mm-hmm. And he built me like, you know, those like tree trunk stumps?
Yeah.
And they turn them into tables. He knows how to build those. And I'm like,
hello?
you have talent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Build me stuff, and then as he's doing it, I'm seeing the confidence go a little bit more in him, and where like if he doesn't know how to build it, he'll find a way.
Yeah,
because he's just that great like in his mind. So if you have a passion, if you have a skill that maybe sometimes people don't even know they have a skill, but I would encourage trying new things.
Right.
You know, what's going to be the worst thing? You find out that you suck at it. Okay, next.
Right.
You know?
Well, and I think also, though, you have to pay attention to what you're good at and what you like doing. Because if you're good at something, but you don't like it, then do not make a career out of it.
Because like you're just falling back into the rat race.
Right. You're just like, you're not going to be as good in it if you hate it. Yep. So like you're only good at something because you like doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yes, people can be naturally good at things, but don't make a career out of it if you hate it. You know, you're just going to live a miserable life. You may make some money, I guess, but I mean, to each their own.
Do you remember from high school, Mr. Bryant? He had long dreads.
Yeah.
And I was in 11th grade, and he made me, the class, do, or all his classes, do a, like, pick a career that you would love to do and do a project out of it. You know, you had to get one of those, like, boards and do, like, a whole thing. I did photography. And then 2 years after I graduated, he hired me to do his family reunion. Huge family reunion.
What?
And he was like, I cannot believe, he still remembers that I did that project and I like did it. I knew that I always loved photography. I did not know it was actually tangible to do because I didn't even know how the fuck do you even make money by clicking pictures. And I was just like,
yeah. Well, and photography has also changed so much since then. Yes. So like,
well, I knew that like, I also knew I love people.
Yeah.
So I knew that love photography. I love art in general. So like sculpting, painting, pottery it's always, I love forming and creating something, but I really love photography. And it really did stem more so because I had my son and I was taking pictures of him as he was growing up. So when I was like, well, I love people too. And I love photographing, like love. I just love, like, I just capture that fucking moment. And that moment right there is like, that person will cherish for the rest of their life.
Right.
I fuel off of that. So then if you have something to where you already know, one, you enjoy and you are talented at it, you not only can like obviously branch from there, but you can have sister companies. Let's say you already have a company. You can streamline other things. So for me, I knew photography is my thing. Love it. I could do it every day. It's but also people are my thing. Women are my thing. I love inspiring and motivating women. I don't mind, even though I do get like camera shy and I'm like, I definitely prefer myself behind the camera. I don't mind speaking, as you see. Yeah. So from photography, I was like, well, I want to inspire women. I want to do boudoir sessions. Okay. Well, now I want to speak to, I love business. I love it. I love seeing someone go after their goals and dreams, and especially like in a business. I'm like, oh my God. When you told me your launch, I was like, count me in. I want to support it. I love this. I love this. Yeah. And even if I didn't know anything, even if someone's like, I'm like, I don't know what you do, but I'm here for it, babe. Yeah. Like, I'm here to support you. Yeah. And so I was like, I literally had a dream. I was like, I had a dream I had a podcast. And I woke up that next, literally, Kenny, we got to buy everything we need for a podcast. I'm doing it. And he goes, what? And did I not, babe? Yeah.
He's like, one more thing? Okay, great.
Yeah, because, he's like, really? And I'm like, yep. And I was like, I want to do this. And I have tons of other things that I have coming in the future. I can't say just yet. And then like my health journey, I wanted to document that because if freaking, I can do it. Anyone can. I'm a mom. I'm a business owner. You know, I'm all over the place. So trust me, if I can do it, you can do it. Right. So I'm documenting that aspect of my life. You can have a business, but also streamline. Let's say you love a lot of different things. You can have that one little business bring you other businesses and other opportunities.
Sure.
You know, like I was sitting here listening to you, and you were like talking about how you could style, you know, a lawyer, or realtors. I get people come in here all the time for headshots.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, oh my God, we can have like this package to where, because just because you're a realtor or just because you're in any kind of field does not mean you know how to dress.
Right. Oh no. I mean, so it's funny you mentioned that. So I just worked with an entire real estate team here in Orlando to help rebrand them because they just switched brokerages. Awesome. So they're getting new headshots done, and they're like, I need to upgrade my closet. Like, I need a new wardrobe.
And I get asked all the time, what do I wear? I'm doing my headshots.
Let's go.
And I literally was just like, we could branch off and do this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my brain is always like,
Synthesized and Wings of Glory. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I do packages, like, and I'll do deals for, if it's a group of people, then I will work with you with that. As far as Costco and timelines and whatever.
I thought you said Costco, like the store. I'm like, yeah, there's clothes there. I mean, I know there's some, but I was like, you shop
Go.
The Costco. Yeah.
I just got my membership. I haven't been yet. It's right across the street from my house, and I'm just really excited.
I love it.
But I partner in all. I even am in the process of doing workshops for teams, you know,
love that.
And different companies, like whoever would need them.
Yeah.
I eventually want to speak at conferences about feeling your self-worth and
let's go
dressing,
together, baby, because I'm all for this.
Dressing the part.
I love
you
that.
dress for the job you want, not the one you have. And so you need to start obviously from within, but it honestly starts in your closet. It does. It just does.
Yeah.
And
because it will start your day just on such a positive note. Yep. You put on those pants that actually fit you and that you feel amazing in.
Right.
And you're like, dang, look at this booty. Yeah. I'm good. Like,
right.
All right. Rather than, what the hell am I going to wear today? And you're like throwing shit around and you're already in a mood before you even get out the door.
Correct.
I love that.
Yep. 1000%.
I love that so much.
Yeah. Well, I think finding something that you're good at, that you love doing, and being consistent, and it'll just drive you.
Consistency is key. I've learned that. And
you're not going to feel like doing things.
I've just gotten into such a habit. I post on all of my social media platforms 3 to 5 times a day. Yeah. And just because I have to. Yeah. I mean, granted, come on. I mean, like, there's days where I'm like, it's my day off. I'm not, maybe once. Or, you know what I mean? But I've been doing photography for 15 years now. And my other little side hustles and little side businesses are fairly new. So I'm bringing those up and growing those, like the podcast here, and trying to get amazing people like you. Where like I fuel off the rest of my day is going to be good because I'm like, oh yeah, so I'm ready to go. Yes. So I think like too, as far as, I know this is definitely about women, but it can 100% be for a man too. It's just, if you're looking to start something, look at maybe, you know, what are you good at? What's your talents? What's a passion of yours? How can you make money from that? How can you start a business from that? If you guys, the easiest and free way possible is just get on social media, start a platform, figure out obviously your brand, your name, you know, you don't want to look like a fool on there just posting stuff and no one knows what the hell you're doing.
And be ready for it to blow up because I was not ready. I was like, and it was crazy.
Oh, girl,
too.
I knew you would.
I was like, so this came to be like the beginning of last year, and it started in my mind, and I was like reeling. And then by my birthday, like by May-ish, I was like, okay, this is going to be a thing. Now I need to start thinking of names. I need to start looking at like what my business plan would look like and what all of this entails, you know? And how do I make money on it? Yeah. And how do I price myself? How do I compare myself to other stylists and event planners out there and blah, blah, blah. And then I had about 50% of everything figured out. And then we launched. And then I was like sick for the rest of the year. And I was like, uh-oh. Yeah. I'm really busy now.
Life may happen.
Yeah. And well, life may happen, but be ready for life to happen. Number one. But two, like, do not do anything until you... Like, it's contradictory. I think do something that you're not ready for, but also be as ready as you possibly can be for
Okay,
it to take
love
off.
that, yeah.
Like it's like a catch-22, I guess, because you want to get out of your comfort zone. You
Yeah,
want to
you
do
don't
something
wanna
you're not
wait
ready for.
forever.
Right.
Yeah.
There's never a great time to do anything,
Right.
right? They always say that.
Especially
There's
something
never
scary.
a great time to, like my husband, he's a realtor. There's never a great time to buy a house. There just isn't. Like you just need to do it because it's an investment in yourself and your
Yeah.
life. Like there's never a great time to have a baby because you're either going to you're going to make more money later or you're going to make less money later or whatever. Like just
You'll
do
always
it.
be finding,
Yeah. You're going to find an excuse to not do something at all times. And I am the queen of justification. So I can justify anything. I really think you should step out of your comfort zone, do something that your gut tells you to do, but then be ready for it to take off. Because if you are in the right place at the right time, it's going to.
Yeah.
And that's what happened with me.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, let's go. I'm ready.
I've started learning all this whole like manifestation
Absolutely.
things as well.
1000% speak it into
Yeah,
existence.
'cause-
I totally believe that.
And ever since I've completely from December 17th changed my life, girl, my dreams are vivid.
Yeah.
My dreams dreams will come up with business ideas, and I wake up, I'm like, Kenny,
Yeah.
starting another one. Write it down, baby.
That's
and he's just
awesome.
like, we're barely keeping up now.
Okay.
He's laughing because it's true. Literally, that's me. And it's just, I live, eat, and sleep this stuff. Like, I love it. And I love building a community of like-minded women, too. And men, I'm not sexist. This has nothing to do with it. I just know women.
But we relate because we're the same
Yeah.
species.
I love it.
So
I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
How can they find you?
So on Instagram and Facebook, I'm Synthesized by TK.
You want to spell it out?
Oh gosh, okay. Synthesized by BY TK.
Okay. Love
And
it.
yeah, and then my website and all that stuff is on there too. BeSynthesized.com.
Yeah, and you'll definitely be tagged in all of this.
Yeah.
So you'll see a link if you're watching. You'll see a link to go find her as well.
Yeah.
But I love it. I love that you're on the show. Thanks so
Yay.
much.
Of course, thanks for having me. I'm
Any last
stoked.
words?
I don't know. Just be you all the time. Because
Yeah.
no one else can be.
love
And then invest in you because you deserve it.
I love that. Well, I love you.
Love you.
You're amazing. All right. That's
We
a
did
wrap.
it.